Do you hear the dogs bark?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome to Who Runs the Commonwealth with Austin and Luke. Zach is out this week, our UVA expert, but we have a lot to get into about Virginia Tech, and we have an in-state game, JMU and Liberty. So, Luke, what do you want to go ahead and start us off with the Virginia Tech news that happened Sunday?
Yeah, Brent Pry was fired, and then the offensive coordinator Phillip was moved up to the interim coaching position. So very exciting in Blacksburg. Excited to get Brent Pry out of there. Had a unsuccessful last couple seasons. Excited to see what we can do moving forward with a better coach. Hopefully, we can get one, before next year.
Yeah, 14 and 23, I think I saw was his total win loss, which I a lot of people in for Virginia Tech like to point out Dan Munlin is only 20 for 20 on his win and loss. So, and they want to fire him. But yeah, I think it's a good it's I don't think Pry was a problem, but I do think with Babcock and the whole, Virginia Tech administration might be kind of just holding everybody back, I think maybe. Because, I think if you watch the ODU game, it wasn't, they weren't getting I mean, they have more athletes than ODU. They have, the game plan was probably pretty sound. I mean, you got a fumble and an interception in like the first half. So going up 28 nothing makes sense, but um, maybe two of those turnovers are on drones, so I don't know.
But
Maybe it's
but
just a quarterback problem.
yeah, I definitely think it is a quarterback problem, and I don't understand why they kept him drones in the entire the game through the fourth quarter, due to the fact that up until the second half, he had 53 passing yards, one interception, two fumbles. So you're having those turnover rates, and you're not like, hey, let's put in another guy to see what's going on. And then he started to catch fire in the third and the fourth quarter when he was going against the second and third team, and he threw for 253 yards, two touchdowns. But that is not, that's not like real stats. That's against the second and third team. So very disappointing.
Yeah, I saw he started 1 for 4, so he had one completion, and that's just you can't do that. Yeah, so he started 1 for 4, not great. Um, something else I was gonna say. UVA. Sorry, we got UVA beating William and Mary 55 to 7, 14, something like that.
Yeah,
It
they
was
cover
a
that spread.
yeah. Zach called it. Zach, of course, is out sick, so we won't have a lot of UVA to talk about, mostly because they stomped William and Mary. Who do they play this week? Do you know off the top of your head?
No, I can look it up though.
Oh, it was Stanford. My bad. Yeah, 16 and a half point favorites against Stanford. And they're coming to UVA. It's gonna be a night game. Who knows? Maybe it might be a good atmosphere down at the UVA stadium, which I think is kind of like a big knock on them is typically stadium's not very full.
Yeah, I think that'll game will be a closer game. I think it'll be within 10 and a half.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit closer. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say what UVA is because we don't, their only real game I think was on against NC State, which a lot of people are saying they don't know what they are. You know what I mean? They think that one might, NC State might be pretty good, but not 100% sure. Um, but sorry to cut you off about Virginia Tech. any kind of ideas? I think the offensive coordinator is the head coach. He was a head coach before. I don't want to say I can't remember where though. But maybe that was like kind of their mindset the whole time is like, well, if we do need to fire Pry, then we still have this head coach, offensive minded head coach coming in as an offensive coordinator. Um, but Bry hired him, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in the front office of the Virginia Tech Hokies, so but
Yeah, a lot of speculation going on right now in the halls of Virginia Tech of who's going to be the next coach and who's going to stay. And we lost that one cornerback to the transfer portal. I think he was a 3-star. Um,
yeah, I
probably
saw that.
first of many to leave. But it's exciting for the future because we'll get new and better recruits in. So excited about that.
Yeah, with team kind of quitting on the whole coaching staff last 2 weeks, second half of Vanderbilt, first half of ODU. Um, it probably isn't the worst thing to be losing a bunch of, a few guys anyway. Um, Especially if it's like the day after the transfer portal opens. It's like I don't know. It's kind of like a bad look, I think. But um, I think
Mhm.
I saw that it's more likely that some more people will be going in after this game because you can still redshirt after playing 4 games. So next week will be kind of where you see a lot of the transfers go in. Um, not it's not like an immediate thing. But lost you.
Yeah, it was going in and out for a second.
Mm, recording again. What was I saying?
Hmm.
Yeah, the transfer people will be most likely transferring after this game against what was it, Wolford?
Wolford, yeah.
Yeah. I understand Wolford's well, we can just jump right into preview for next week then if you'd like. You have any closing thoughts on last week's Virginia Tech?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody in Virginia Tech Stadium was yelling for Pop Watson. Everybody wants to see Pop. I don't know why he's the third string quarterback. Maybe some speculation around an injury he had last year.
Mm.
I was doing a little research into that, but Virginia Tech wants Blacksburg at least wants Pop Watson. So we'll see how that goes in the future.
Yeah, I know you big pop fan. Um yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't what's gonna happen really with that. Um Hard to speculate because of so much like um I don't know if you see pop. I don't know because a lot of people are saying that because they kept Pride kept drones in, right? So like show some kind of loyalty. But a lot of people are also saying that is kind of like accepting defeat at that point with the second and third strings coming in on defense for Virginia Tech, and then having your starting quarterback in is pretty crazy. Not very doesn't symbolize a great team and teamwork, with if your second string and third string defense is going in, but your first string offense is still in. You know what I mean? It's like, are you giving up or are you not giving up? But yeah, ODU stomped them. It was Colton Joseph is crazy, man. The ODU quarterback. Did you watch the game or were you working?
Oh yeah, you ran. Oh yeah. I was working, but he lit our defense up. Virginia Tech cannot stop a running quarterback. He was ran all over us. I think he had like over 100 yards rushing, at least 1 to 2 touchdowns. Then he threw that beautiful dime over in the back corner of the end zone. That was just absolutely, that guy's an animal. Somebody needs to sign him. He needs to go to a bigger school.
Yeah, he's definitely like. the shining like point of their offense or their whole team really. Like it's like a lot of like JUCO guys. Um, I think they had like three recruits from Virginia in the top 50 prospects of Virginia over the last 3 years. So not great high school recruiting. Um, which I can understand. ODU is not like the best place to go. Well, I'm sorry. I don't want to. I can understand why they would have difficulties recruiting as far as like where they're at in Virginia and like money wise, all that fun stuff. Um, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to talk trash about
Isn't
ODU because they might just beat
isn't
JMU this year.
I hope we'll call Joseph if he has anything to say about it.
Yeah, JMU does tend to be a little bit better against running quarterbacks than Virginia Tech, though, I will say. But what really hurts them is what's hurt them in the past against ODU, which we will be at the game, me and you, JMU ODU, if you didn't know. Um,
Mm.
but they get hurt
I
by
didn't
like,
know. I just knew. They,
yeah, you knew it was homecoming, right? But it's like the tickets are like 250, like where we're sitting. So you want to sell? Now's the time.
oh, nice. I happy we actually get seats this year.
Yep. Yeah, that was crazy. I think I've heard that before too. It's like you have to get there a couple hours before. We got there 10 minutes before the game started, so we did not get seats. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot to figure out in Blacksburg, I think. Um, we could speculate all day, but they're struggling there. I think they were thinking Whit Babcock would be coming out at this press conference. I believe it was yesterday, if not the day before. They were thinking he was going to step down as athletic director, but he didn't. Um, so going to be they're going to be looking for a new coach through a hiring committee. Um, so they're going to be looking for a new coach through this hiring committee supported by Witt.
That
Um,
have proven not to be.
huh?
I said it
What'd you
just
say?
through a committee that's just not been fruitful. I mean, since the committee's been like over the AD and the committee that's been over Virginia Tech, it's been very terrible. They haven't been able to produce, winning seasons, and I would say probably 4 or 5 years. So hopefully we can get back to that. And we do need a new AD. I've seen a lot of back pages on Tech football sidelines saying that they want to get rid of the AD and are in the process of trying to find a new AD for Virginia Tech.
Yep, yep. And that's why they're bringing out like the hiring team for the coach, right? So it's like an outside party, not Virginia Tech hiring. And he is just going to be supporting and hopefully not picking the next Virginia Tech coach because I don't think he'll be here after next year. I heard rumors that he would be there for the start of 2026. Just rumors. I don't know for sure, but that's just what I hear. Um, yeah, so Wade Babcock would be there next year by the beginning of the year. So I don't think that's a good call, but you know, kind of typical JMU, I mean Virginia Tech fashion, right? Like kind of messing it up, right?
Yeah.
But there's hope. There's hope in Blacksburg now that the coach is gone. Unwarranted, I think, but whatever. Um, all right, let's go ahead and jump into week two. Let's start with UVA so we can get that out of the way. Real quick, they have Stanford. I'm sorry, we already talked about this. But yeah, they have Stanford. You said 10-point favorites. You think they'll win by 10? Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it'll be more like 14. I don't think it'll be necessarily close, but I don't think Virginia's defense is as good as our offense, basically. So I think it'll be a little bit of a shootout, but Stanford's offense isn't up to par with UVA's offense. Go ahead.
Yeah, especially with Stanford's the one that has what's his that Colts quarterback. What's his name? Used to that
Andrew
came
Luck.
out of Stanford. Andrew. Yeah, he's their
Hmm.
quarterback coach, which I think brings a really good dynamic back to Stanford, which makes them a pretty tough team to beat. Um, that's how I was putting them in that 10.5, and that's just in case that UVA does take off. They're firing it on all cylinders on offense. I definitely think it's going to be a close game. You think it's going to be a 14.5 spread, um, but it's definitely going to be an exciting game to watch, win or lose.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I think it'll be a better game than what we've seen with Virginia, UVA. The NC State game was fun, but you're right. I think NC State, Stanford, UVA are all very similar, so it'll be an even matchup, I think. But I
Mhm.
think UVA, where they lack in defense, they are plus in offense. You know what I mean? So I think that's what
Oh
pulls away
yeah.
for them. Um,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, let's go ahead and go through Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's got Wofford. I didn't even look at the spread. Did you happen to look at the spread? I think it was like 23 and a half, but I could be wrong.
Mm.
Looking
Man, I
talking
don't
about
know.
spreads.
These spreads are getting crazy. I think it's we should go in there and we should beat Wolford, but if we play in any way that we have played the past couple weeks, I don't know. It's going to be a tough game, especially with the new coach taking over, players leaving through the transfer portal, injuries. Um, I would say -14 tech. I wouldn't put them at the 23.5 spread. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think due to those variables.
So Wofford is the 205th team in FPI. If they're behind Richmond. You know what I mean? Like their FCS team. I don't think in any world they have, you know, never would they have a chance against Virginia Tech. You know what I mean? Like they've played so many times. I've watched them play them many times. And it's always a blowout. Second string, third strings are in there by halftime, of course. But it says they do have a 3% chance of winning the game, ESPN says. Um, and I saw the lowest ticket price on like StubHub or something was $3. So you could go to the Virginia Tech game for $3 this week. Um,
That's crazy.
yeah. And actually I think Wolford lost to Richmond the other day. So if Virginia Tech and this is what I'm getting back to, I think Virginia Tech is so much worse that I think it's really making ODU look better. You know what I mean? Like ODU is not that good. It's Virginia Tech that's just like they're just in a bad time, but they're really bad right now. And I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think a
I
lot of
picked
it has to go into the I think a lot of that has to go in the coaching as well, just because you got to look at the way they played South Carolina. We're able to contain Sellers in the beginning, and then
I lost you.
and then both game. No, I'm back. My
Oh.
bad. Someone called in. Yeah, I don't know who it was. But the Vandy game, there was no control over it. I think any running quarterback's going to have their fun, but I think that I systematically think that goes back to the defensive coaching because it's just been terrible all around.
Yeah, I mean, not much to say. They're gonna win. Probably. I agree with you by 14. I think it might be a little shaky at sometimes with Virginia Tech's like offense, defense, everything, but they're too big to fail against Wofford. Um, let's talk about the game of the week, buddy. JMU and Liberty. Um, Where do I even start? Liberty's coming off a couple tough losses to Jacksonville State and Bowling Green. Yeah, so sorry, I thought I lost it, but yeah, so they're coming off two tough losses. One was in Conference USA. Um, I'm not sure what conference Bowling Green is in. Do you know?
Mm-mm.
Anyway, um, they're looking really bad, very bad. Um, they have their head coach and quarterback from they got from Coastal Carolina, which JMU's whooped up on last 2 years, outscoring them like 100 to nothing, 114, something like that. So I don't really have too much of concerns, I guess, other than that it is now, quote, a rivalry game. Um, they have a yeah, they have a trophy for it and everything, which I think helps out Liberty more than it helps JMU. So I'm not really sure why we're doing that. Um,
Mhm.
because the whole what Liberty is missing is strength of schedule, whereas JMU's missing money. So, um, they're making this a every year game, which is kind of building up Liberty's strength of schedule and kind of bringing JMU's down. Not gonna lie to you, but I hate Liberty. I think everybody hates Liberty in Virginia, so I'm ready to put 50 up on them. I'm gonna call somebody. I saw somebody put out that they would get a tattoo. No, they would name their firstborn child James Madison if JMU beat them 40-7. So that's my score prediction. Is gonna be 40-7 JMU. That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
That's a, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, yeah, that would be awesome. Uh, Talk about dad be angry every time he's yelling at his son. Hey, James Madison. Oh, I remember when they came into our house and whooped us.
Yeah, it's one of their it's
It'd be hilarious.
Liberty's coach
Um,
said it was the toughest team they've played since Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl, which is crazy because Oregon beat them by like 70. You remember that?
yeah, I don't
Uh,
think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna. Yeah, yeah, that was a terrible game for Liberty. Do you hear me?
yeah, I hear you now.
Hello? Yeah, I said it was a terrible game for Liberty in that Fiesta Bowl. I don't think it's going to be a competitive game. JMU versus Liberty. I think JMU is going to absolutely dog them. They got a stout defense, solid two quarterback system. I think that's going to be definitely very difficult for Liberty to stop Saluka in the red zone. So I feel like it's going to be presumably like what you said, 47. I feel like that's a good representation of what it's going to be like. It's not going to be a competitive game at all.
Yeah, I do think it'll be low scoring because I think JMU's going to just try to run it all over them, which Liberty has a very bad run defense, allowing 300 yards against um, Jacksonville State, which is also having like they're having a very bad year. Jacksonville State is, they just got a new coach, new roster, all that stuff. So to come out and beat you, Liberty was kind of like a surprise, and then they lost to Bowling Green. So Bowling Green again, you guys have their running back. You know what I mean? So just getting kind of eat up by the transfer portal. Um,
Yep.
which
Yep.
I don't believe. I think thankfully JMU has kind of been lucky with that this year. Obviously, when their coach Signetti left to Indiana, Indiana got all their players. But for a group of five, they've retained their roster pretty well. They
Still
they
salty.
do have yeah, they do have 50 more people coming in this year, which I think is kind of more like upgradings, stuff like that, because we have a lot of returning. Um, contributors from last year. But yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, I can't imagine in a world where Liberty does win this game, just because I don't think they'll be able to put up points against JMU's defense. Um, you know, biggest, I would say the like most optimistic I could be for Liberty is like if JMU has like some turnovers, which Liberty has not. I think they're 6-0 in the turnover margin, so they're on the wrong end of that stick. So I don't see that going either. So anyway, you got a game of the week that you want to pick?
Yeah. Listen, we were at that. Listen, we were at that game last year where JMU came into North Carolina and absolutely put up 70 some points on them, 50 some before halftime. If Liberty allows JMU to run the ball, it's going to be a high scoring game like that. Like they're gonna be in the 50s, 60s for sure. They're dominant in that run game. But prediction of the week, say Virginia Tech. Are we doing the like hot take of like what like would be like an upset or
Yeah, yeah, like a bet, like something you would bet, within the whole college football, not just like in state.
I feel like you
Um,
should lead this one off.
yeah, I gotcha. So I have Tulane at going to Ole Miss. So Tulane just beat Duke. Um, they beat them by a good margin. I can't remember exactly, but they were up big at halftime. It was like 20-30 to nothing. You know what I mean? So, um, they embarrassed Duke. And they're going to an Ole Miss team that is they're 3-0, yes. Step up in competition, yes. I'm saying all those things because I do think Tulane might they will cover. They are going to cover. Ole Miss is they let people hang around. They're in more 4 or 1 point or one score games than pick a team, so they allow a lot of people to kind of creep up and stay close with them throughout the game. They're right now, Ole Miss is 11.5 point favorites. I think Tulane at least covers. I do think they'll win the game, and it'll be a big shock to everybody. Um, just like when South Florida beat Florida. I know two different situations. One's ranked, one's not, but I think Tulane's a very good team. They have a quarterback from BYU that's crushing it, running all over the place, throwing all over the place. Just embarrassing teams. So I got Tulane over Ole Miss. I would take the points, but if you want to take the money line, I wouldn't doubt you. I'll say I'll pick 17 to 20. I'll say 20 to 24 Ole Miss if I'm picking a score. But I would not be surprised if they won.
I think a good game tomorrow is going to be the Texas Tech Utah game. We're going against two 3-0 teams. Texas Tech has a 39% win probability, but they have two of the best edge rushers in college football right now. They've had a combined total of 58% pressures. Two of the highest among FBS this season, but also they're going against the Utah's OT duo that has not allowed a single pressure through 3 games. So I feel like if Texas Tech is able to bring the heat, they are able to get pressures, turnovers. I feel like Texas Tech's going to win that game. It's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be plus 7-5 on that game. Texas Tech wins.
Yeah, I could definitely see Texas Tech winning that game. They have they put a lot of money into their program this year, so got some of the highest recruits, blah blah blah. You know, they plus it's Texas, you know what I'm saying. Um All right. Any closing thoughts for the listeners? No Pop Watson. Dude, you are 0 for 3 on Virginia Tech picks. You might want to pick Wofford to win.
I know at this point it's very disappointing, but also they're not playing my quarterback, so I can't be too upset. You know, a lot of that frustration is, through, not being able to put the ball in the end zone and turnovers. Super frustrating. Hopefully the interim coach can, alleviate some of those issues on this next game, but we're really gonna have to turn it around here and win the next at least 2 to 3 games to make a bowl appearance this year, which is, which what everyone wants, a bowl appearance. But I don't know, sad season, sad days in Virginia Tech right now. No top 25 this year, but JMU, I mean, JMU can still get there. I feel like JMU might win this year with the Commonwealth Cup. I think they're going to have the best record. So, unfortunately, it's pretty sad. We should do uh
We should
like
do a
if
trophy.
one,
Yes.
like let's say JMU wins it all, and what are the other two? Then like, you know what I'm saying? Some like trophy or something of that nature. I think that would be really
Yeah, I think
fun
that
to
would be
like
sick.
have like interact with like,
Yeah.
yeah, to be
We'll get
like
something on there.
and stuff like that of that nature. Yeah, that'd be
I was
cool.
thinking I was thinking t-shirts, but yeah, yeah. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We'll get something together for the end of the year. Okay, well, yeah, I think UVA is gonna UVA and ODU definitely have the most challenge for JMU this year. Um, we'll see how it shakes out. We everybody's got like a lot of common opponents, which is fun this year. Like I think Tech and UVA play Louisville. We'll see if it's closer by that time. But yeah, well, that's it for me. Um, I'm Austin Logan, Luke Howard, who runs the Commonwealth. Please give us a like or a subscribe on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, anywhere where you listen to your podcast. We would appreciate it. Goes a long way to getting this stuff out there. We enjoy making this stuff um, and interacting with everybody from each fan base. I do. I'll tend to root for UVA over Texas Tech. You know what I mean? Because there's just a lot of like, yeah, you're shaking your head. There's just a lot of like
I
commonality
thought you
between
were
each
gonna say
teams, I
Tech.
think. Huh? No, 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 no. I'm just saying, like,
I thought you were gonna say Tech, and I was it's like, hey, buddy, I remember very evidently you in high school and middle school wearing Tech jerseys and
oh yeah,
going
for
to all
sure.
the Tech football games with your pappy. So,
Yeah, yeah. Big tech fan. Yep. That's why I mean I still listen to all the tech podcasts. I listen to all of it, just like that's what I'm saying is like just want Virginia to be a good uh football state, I guess. Similar to like Alabama or Georgia or something like that. There's a tons of high school recruits coming out of Virginia. So, you know, if they start staying inside the Virginia, the state, then maybe it means a little bit more. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening.
oh, definitely.